As a rule, business owners can be a critical bunch and an incredibly optimistic bunch, depending on the circumstances. The problem is, they usually get it backwards. So here's what I mean. You've probably heard the adage or anecdote or sketchy statistic, I'm not sure which it is, but this idea that for every one person who complains about your business, there's like 7 or 10 or 20 people that are unhappy that you don't hear from. I don't know if that's true or not, but what I do know is that business owners tend to overemphasize the negative when it comes to customer complaints and underemphasize the positive. Here's what I mean. If a business owner hears something negative about their business, they totally buy into that whole idea, and they assume that the absolute sky is falling. They marshal the troops, they chase down that customer complaint, they expend extraordinary resources to figure out what the problem was and make sure it never happens again. I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I'm saying that more often than not, we tend to treat people who will never be satisfied as if they're an overly large percentage of our customer base. Some people just aren't going to be happy no matter what. Some people are just going to decide to complain because that's the way they get attention. If you're a business owner, there's something to be said for taking things with a grain of salt when it comes to customer complaints. Don't ignore them, but sometimes your gut's telling you that this person's just never going to be happy. And the best thing you can do in those situations is stand by your team, acknowledge the reality that some people are going to be upset no matter what, and move on to the next customer and make them very, very happy that they're doing business with you. But the other problem is that when somebody is a raving fan and they tell lots and lots of people about it, business owners tend not to make such a big deal out of those things. They tend not to go overboard. They tend not to enlist the same resources to celebrate the success as they would to mitigate the failure. And I think that's a big mistake. When somebody comes to you and they tell you how happy they are, they tell you how satisfied they are, they tell you what a difference you're making, realize that there's probably 2 or 3 other people, 4 people, 5 people, 10 people, 20 people. I don't know what the statistic is, but there are other people out there who are just as satisfied, and they don't come to you. They don't tell you. You owe it to your team to go out of your way to make sure that that success gets acknowledged just as much as the criticism, or just as much as the customer service failure, or just as much as that crazy person who just can never be satisfied. If you're not spending as much time on the success as you are on the lapses or the failures, then your team is missing out. So I'm not suggesting that you be Pollyanna and just ignore all the bad stuff that happens in your business. But I would encourage you to take note of the next victory you have and make a huge deal out of it. Make sure that everybody knows about it. Next time you get a great review, take everybody in the office out to lunch, or give the salespeople a bonus, or don't get stuck overemphasizing the failures and underemphasizing the successes. See you guys tomorrow. As a general rule, business owners are both highly critical of things. That's not good. I gotta start over.